Hi guys, I thought I'd do a video this week for this particular topic because anyway, I wasn't sure it'd quite translate in writing, but I wanted to talk a little bit about humility today. Humility can often be dangerous, okay? It can be toxic. And I know that sounds really weird because we usually talk about humility in a positive sense. You've heard us talk about one of my favorite books, The Ideal Team Player, where Patrick Lencioni talks about ideal team players are humble, hungry, and smart, people smart. And so humility obviously is a very attractive trait. But I think sometimes we misrepresent or misunderstand humility and just kind of wanted to clarify. And so if we talk about humility, when I want to break it down, humility is truth. Okay, pride is lies. Humility is being able to take responsibility or accept both your failures and your successes. Because I think sometimes people think humility is just maybe not bragging on yourself, and it's not braggy, but true humility is being able to acknowledge things you do well too. Okay, it's not self-deprecating. It would be like Michael Jordan saying, "Oh, I'm a terrible basketball player." Well, we know he's not, and that's not truth. And so, if you're truly humble, you can accept and acknowledge the things that you're good at as well. And so, that's kind of the first, I think the best case scenario is to have true humility. But then there's another sort of category, and that's maybe the person who has no humility at all. They're very braggy, they boast a lot, and quite frankly, I would prefer that kind of person to the third kind I'm going to talk about here in a sec, because, at least you know where they are. Okay, but then you've got this is where the danger comes in. I think a really toxic type of situation where somebody who is not humble at all, but they fake it and they're manipulative and they can trick some people very easily into thinking they're humble when they're really not. And so those are the kind of people that I don't trust. When I pick up on that, I'm like, I don't trust you. I don't like you. I don't want to be around you. When you are truly humble, that's very attractive. People want to be around you. Leaders, your team wants to follow you when you're truly humble. Team members, you're going to be very valued as a team member when you're truly humble, when you can both accept your strengths and your weaknesses. And again, it's all about truth. And the thing that frustrates me is that pride is celebrated more than true humility. Okay, our society celebrates it all the time, all over the place. In the media, it's those people that boast and brag and all of that. That's what is celebrated. You don't hear stories about true humility. Okay, and that's frustrating. Here's an example, and this is kind of what spurred this whole conversation on, or this whole topic. Last weekend, if any of you watched the PGA Championship in San Francisco, which I don't know about you guys, but I'm just excited that we have live sports back on TV. Even if there is no live audience, which is still kind of weird, but at least we have the sports. So that's fun. But my husband, and he was really watching it. I was just watching bits and pieces, but it got pretty exciting at the end. When, you basically had these two guys, kind of coming down to the wire. You had Paul Casey, this British golfer who's 43. And then you have Colin Morikawa. I had to write that down. I hope I didn't say that wrong. But Colin Morikawa, who is 23. So you have a 20-year difference. And Colin Morikawa hit this amazing tee shot. And I keep seeing, highlights and replays of it over and over and over on hole number 16. That probably secured his win. And I'm going to put a highlight reel of his great shots down below if you missed it, because it is pretty amazing. But he hit this amazing tee shot on number 16 that went straight to the green and then knocked it in for an eagle, which was crazy. And so after the fact, Paul Casey, who this British guy, if he had won, would have been the first British golfer in 100 years to win a PGA championship. Apparently he's been very close before. And, he didn't sit there and make excuses in the post-tournament interview. He was smiling. He said, I played some great golf this weekend. And he said, but Colin was amazing. And that shot on number 16, that's something we're going to talk about forever. You know, he just said some things where he was celebrating his competition. He was celebrating somebody else's success when he fell short. But he didn't make excuses. He wasn't prideful. He wasn't jealous. He was just truthfully humble. And that was really fun to see. He also said, you know, in the interview, he said, and I rode with this true gentleman, Brooks Koepka. I enjoyed his company and he was great. And, you know, he said it was a great experience. Okay. He didn't complain or have a pity party because he fell short. All right. He was truthfully humble, and that's what makes him attractive to others. Now, here's the frustrating thing. I tried to find that video of that interview that I heard, you know, bits and pieces of, and it's not anywhere. If it is, I spent, you know, 30 minutes two different times trying to find it. And I hate that that kind of thing is not celebrated in the media. So anyway, I did post a link down below, just an article where you can read some of his sound bites in that interview. And again, check out those highlights from Colin. That's pretty amazing, whether you're a golf fan or not. Again, check yourself. Are you truthfully humble, or are you faking it? Or are you self-deprecating, which really isn't a whole lot better? So just some things to think about. We'll see you next time.